Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I almost said our channel. We are going to be sitting down and doing a little Q&A kind of about us, get to know us, who you'll see on the channel, all of that stuff. Okay, so we just have a few questions taken from Instagram. I did like a little question thing. There were some like repeated ones, so we're just kind of mixing them together. So the first question is, how are you adjusting to living together?
A big adjustment, and I would say in a relationship and in anything, would be saying no to yourself, humbling yourself, and saying no to your desires sometimes to be able to serve or do things for the other person as well.
The next question we have is, what advice do you have for getting over breakups before getting into a different relationship?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I can speak probably more about that. I would say, me personally, to not seek out a different relationship. I think that God's timing is best, and if He brings someone into your life, then pray about it and seek God over just getting into a new relationship. I think that if you have been broken up with, or if you broke up with someone, there's a reason for it, even if it's maybe not something you want to think about or like really dive deep into. But I think that there's a purpose for everything, and if there's a breakup happening, then it may be that you need to work on yourself or let the Lord work through you, or maybe put your priorities in a different area rather than a relationship.
To add to that, a relationship should not be what is fulfilling you. And so if you're not being fulfilled in one relationship, or it was really hard, and the breakup was really hard because that person was a piece of you, really the only way to kind of get over that is to seek the Lord first. You really need to be invested in your relationship with the Lord, and that really heals your heart. Both of us, and we may get to this on other questions too, both came from a time where we weren't seeking anyone. We were both kind of finally over the previous person, but that was due to focusing on the Lord and what He had for us, and then He just blessed us by introducing each other to us. People, and even as a married couple, we cannot fulfill each other. We can't fill those gaps. That's not what people are made for. That's not what spouses are made for. That's only a spot the Lord can fill.
Wow, fire.
Next question, this one's for you.
Okay.
Specifically, when did you know that you liked me in a romantic way?
I honestly feel like it was right when I met you, which that, I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it was the weekend that I spent with you and your family, and I got to see you interact with your family and the people that you knew, and just, I don't know, the way that you interacted with them was just so different from other interactions I've had with people. But also like your voice, your singing voice, very cute. I just liked on our first date when we went back to your dorm room and we just sang, and like we connected in that way.
But you think the moment was?
I feel like the moment was, yeah, like that was the turning point for me, even though it was like so early.
All right, another one. What is your favorite thing about me? And then I'll say my favorite things about you.
About me, okay. Let me think. To like word it nice. I have some. I knew you were gonna say that. Okay, so my favorite thing about Ben is just honestly his heart and his intentionality with people and with me. Going into our relationship, before he had even like asked me to be his girlfriend, he spoke to my ex-boyfriend and can I be in a relationship with her? Like, what do you think about this? And I just thought that was super respectful. So that's just one example of how he's like super intentional, but also like little things you do. Like the other day, I think it's gonna be in a vlog, he was on his way home from work and went to Aldi and got like my favorite sugary cereal and just like woke me up the next day with breakfast in bed. Even though it was small, it was like such a big gesture. Okay, that's a lot of things, but
Yeah, I think you said one thing, and then now I have one thing in my head for you, and now I gotta think of more. Shouldn't be that hard though. I would say my favorite thing about you is also not to copy the answer you had for me, but sort of your heart for other people. That is kind of like one thing that stood out to me right away, in the way that you are willing to serve people even outside of your comfort zone. The way you, the Lord has really given you a vision, and you really see outsider people and people who are struggling, and you have a great sense of empathy and being able to kind of put yourself in their shoes and think about kind of how they might be thinking, which is just really helps your compassion and you like really helping other people, and so that was just it's a huge blessing to everyone around you, and I really appreciate that about you.
thanks.
So the next question we have is, what was our first impressions of each other? You want to go first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd want to say like there was one time that we were at our school cafeteria and he had gotten back from his internship or his co-op, and I hadn't seen him honestly maybe more than once on campus before I even like knew you.
Mm-hmm.
So I had just like sat down at the dinner table and he's sitting right across from me, and we got into like the topic of coffee. And if anyone knows Ben, he is a coffee connoisseur. Yes, you are. And yes, you are. You went to like every coffee shop everywhere. Anyway, I was like, oh, I want to work at a coffee shop, or like I was just getting my job at a coffee shop. And he's like, oh, what kind of coffee do you drink? And I said Folgers, and that's like not a high quality coffee at all. But my first impression was that he was very kind about my answer, because he was like, oh yeah, we can vibe with that. He didn't say that, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel like judged by him at all. Accepting, that's the word I was looking for. He was very accepting of it. But I will say that we don't drink Folgers anymore.
Nope, I've got her off that.
Yeah. I want to say that's my first impression. And just, yeah, your voice, your singing voice. He was on the worship team for our campus ministry, and
Well, I haven't answered that one too. My first impression of Anna was first, basically, I mean, she looks amazing. So first impression was, holy smokes. When she first joined our campus ministry, I was like, wow, she is stunning. She is so beautiful. Like, how can there even be someone that looks that amazing? I wouldn't consider myself to be super awkward. I am awkward. So that's just the truth of it. And I can talk to anybody. But oh my gosh, I could not talk to this girl. She literally, I was like, I can't get close to her. She can't know my name, because I don't want her accidentally talking to me, because that's just not gonna work. So yeah, I really didn't talk to her. My roommate and I actually came up with this thing, kind of creepy actually, as I think about it, but the guy that she was dating, when she first got there, we kind of came up with this thing like, how'd he do? Like, how in the heck did he get that girl? And so, like, wow, crazy. So my first impression of you was, whoa, way out of my league. Way.
so the next question is for Ben. And how did you know you were in love with Anna?
How did I know I was in love with Anna? Similar to the question I had mentioned earlier, just about I wasn't really looking for anyone, and me and my relationship with the Lord was just really strong, and I really enjoyed it. And then he kind of just dropped Anna in, and I kind of was like, well, like, I'm not looking for this right now. You know, I had attraction to her. As I had mentioned, she was just crazy beautiful, way out of my league. But then finally, like, we kind of started talking and hanging out. Kind of when really the Lord showed me, like, yes, this, like, you can like this girl because this girl's really special, was just the way she kind of like went outside her comfort zone to do things for other people, but also just to be around me, and do things I liked, even though I knew she didn't like. So really just spending that time and stuff kind of just, I was like, wow, first I think she really likes me, and that was just really special to me because not very many people would do that for me, you know, because we have the same interests, but someone who doesn't have the same interests, willing to put themselves aside to do those things with me, I was like, wow, I think I do love this girl.
Kind of on the topic of love, who said I love you first? I honestly can't totally remember, but I know that it was in the same night and one after the other. Because I was just about to leave his dorm room and we were sitting in his hammock because he had his bed lofted so he could put a hammock underneath it. And we were sitting in there and we're just like looking at each other, and I think I said, so are you gonna say it? Or who's gonna say it first? Or something along the lines. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 months we weren't saying the L word. So what did we say? I like you?
Probably.
I like you so much. No, I honestly have like journal entries saying that, so I'm pretty sure that we didn't say it before. But I was like, can we just say it? Like the L word. So I think, yeah, it was one or the other. But I don't remember distinctly who it was, but it was the same night. This is a silly one. Are you guys ever going to get a dog or a cat?
For sure.
Yes.
But not a cat.
No.
So we are dog people.
Dog. All the
So
way.
sorry for all of you cat-loving people, but that is not our cup of tea.
Nope.
Yeah, we'll be getting a dog.
Once we're used to the season of life that we're in and routines are made and money is made on my behalf. Okay, so the next question is, in what ways has God helped you in your relationship? Well, I just feel like he's the only reason for it. Like, the only reason that we have patience with one another and grace for one another and forgiveness and all of the things like Jesus is because he is the center of it. Well, at least we try to keep him in the center. There's like a diagram somewhere of, I mean, it's man or woman, but husband, wife, and then the Lord is like at the top, so it's a triangle. And the closer that you are to Jesus on your side, the closer that you two will be together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So God's at the top, you are closer to God, so you're closer to each other. I think with having our separate relationships with the Lord, he's able to help us and like convict us when, okay, we're not being patient with one another, we're not being forgiving, you know, all of the things.
To add to that, the Lord is our strength. And so without him, I do a very poor job at loving her. She does a very poor job at loving me and showing me respect and me love to you. Because we first need to be filled up. Really, the Lord has to be the center, has to be where you're filling up daily. And because otherwise you won't have the grace, you won't have the mercy, you won't want to serve the other person. And all of those are so important. So, yeah.
By no means are we saying like we are perfect in this area.
No.
Because we're not. I will tell you that right now, and no one is. And if they are claiming that, then they have some things to learn. Ooh, here's a fun one. How many babies do you want? How many babies do you want?
How many babies do I want? lots of babies. Well, we've talked about different. It's partially up to us, but also not really up to us. So I'd say we're probably good, like 3 or 4.
I really want to have twins.
Yeah.
I'm a twin myself, so I'm not sure if it skips a generation or if God will bless us with 2 little babies in one try. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so 3 or 4 is kind of what we're hoping for.
Okay, so this video is getting pretty long, but the last question is, there were a few of these, but how and when did you first meet and like the details surrounding that?
Details.
I feel like this could be a whole other video, honestly, but let's try to sum it up.
We met at college. I was there a year, and then she came in the next year. And we met first just because we were in the same campus ministry. We both did music, and so we kind of saw each other, there, and then just through group stuff. At the school that we went to, we do kind of a whole an internship for like a whole semester, and so I was away in a whole different city, not going to school, just doing this internship. So that was like 9 months I was gone, and during that 9 months, Anna actually became fairly good friends, hanging out with kind of my friend group. My younger sister, started going to the same school, so they started hanging out. And so kind of when I came back and started hanging out with my sister, who I'm real close to, and her friends and kind of my friends who are all bunched in one, she was in that group.
Okay, so then the other part of that is, I think one time after crew, we were all like, we had an APP, which was after party, meaning crew was the party. Anyway, so at that APP, Ben had mentioned going to a benefit concert that their church was hosting, which is where Haley and his dad was singing and all of that. So I was like, sure, I'll go. And like at this point, I already kind of liked him. So Ben was like, you could either ride with me and Tom, or you can ride with this person over here. And I'm like, I'll ride with you tomorrow. The next day, we went to his parents' house and just hung out there for a little bit before the concert. And then after the concert is when I met a lot of his friends and family. Yeah, I want to say that was just like the gist of it, was that's how we met. Kind of almost through your sister.
And just the friend group.
But
yeah, just being together in a group, and then kind of we're still in that group, but then just started talking, just us. All right, well, that was the last question. Thank you guys so much for asking those. Again, we just appreciate all your input, and we're always willing to do another one of these if you guys like it, if you want to know more. For sure, we are up for sitting down and answering some more questions.
Yeah, so if you guys have any more questions, you can always DM me on my Instagram, or you can also comment down below on this video and I can collect them and we can do another Q&A in the future. But yeah, that's the video. The daylight is leaving us, so we will leave. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.